Okay, here's Mick here, and I'm making a video on how to change the rear sprocket on your Sur Ron Light Bee. So I'll just tell you why I'm going to change it real quick. So this is a Supermoto wheel from Sur Ron Light Bee. This is the kit. Sur Ron Light Bee doesn't come with this wheel. You have to buy it separately in a kit, and it comes with a 42 tooth sprocket. And I want to install the stock 48 tooth sprocket. This is the stock sprocket from the dirt wheel, basically. I have the 62 Lunicycle sprocket on there, as you can see right here. So the previous owner had installed that. But today I'm going to put this 48 tooth sprocket on my Supermoto wheel, so I can get a little bit more torque, a little more acceleration is what I'm going to say. I've been using the bike for like DoorDash and stuff lately, and I don't really need to go super duper fast. I don't really need to go 50 miles an hour. The fastest I'll probably hit is like probably 40. And what I've noticed is with the bigger sprocket, the motor doesn't have to work as hard, so you'll get a little bit better range. So I'm hoping this will help increase my range. So that's the reason I'm changing it. So to change the sprocket, you're going to need a 6mm Allen wrench. It helps if you have a socket like this. Helps a whole lot. And what I'm going to be using are these long breaker bars to crack them open. I'm going to need your sprocket, obviously. Okay. And then you're going to need some kind of torque wrench or something, some kind of torquing device. So I'm going to use this. It's like basically it's like a torque adapter dealie. And then you're going to need your wheel, obviously. Alright, I also suggest you use some kind of a thread locking compound, like Loctite. Do not use the permanent stuff. Don't use the red stuff. Use like a blue like Loctite. Anything that'll keep it from backing out. You do not want these to back out. Okay, if it backs out, then you're gonna be in trouble. That's what I want to say. All right, so let's get started. So it's a pretty straightforward task. Basically, take the old sprocket and put the new one on. You've got to, obviously you got to take your wheel off. You got to get your Sur Ron looking like mine, and obviously you're probably going to have to change your chain if you change the size of the sprocket. So, but I'm not going to go over taking the wheel off. Just take your wheel off, and then it's going to look like this. And I have it on the stand so you guys can see it better. I'll probably clean this up a little bit later, but go ahead and get your socket and your breaker bar. I also have a T-handle, so we'll be using that to remove it after we've broken them loose. Okay, so just go ahead. And so one thing you want to make sure before you take it off is a note. You can see some markings on the sprocket here. So it says 42 420. So that means this is 42 tooth, and it's a 420 chain. Okay, so just remember where that is. So you install the new one, how you install that one. If your new sprocket doesn't have anything on it, then just don't worry about it. But since this one does, that's the way we're going to install it. So the way we install it is like this. Okay, so here it says 48 420. That means 48 tooth 420 chain. Okay, and go like that, right on top of there. Okay, so just kind of remember that. So let's go break this sucker loose. Make sure you got some place to. Okay, and there shouldn't be on there too tight. It should only be like 22 foot-pounds is what the torque is. Okay. Okay. And all I'm using this for is just to break them loose, so I don't have to put too much pressure with that other tool. try to go in like a star pattern too. Okay. Then I'm going to go switch to the T-handle. This is a little faster. Also, it's probably a good idea to put the bolts back the way you found them. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get my sprocket already, and when I take one off, I'll put it on the new one. Okay, this is like a brand new sprocket. Like the previous owner did not use this at all. Like they just went and installed a new sprocket right off the bat. Okay, so I'm going to put that one there because that's where that was. And I'm just going to leave one out so I know which one goes where. So you can see these have already has some kind of locking compound on it. It's kind of dry, so we're going to just put some new thread locking compound on it. Probably a good idea to wear gloves because your sprocket's probably pretty dirty. So I'm going to leave that one out so I know which one goes where. Sort of, kind of. Okay. The last one seems to be the hardest one to get out. So the reason you want to torque these properly is so, like, you know, when you try to take them out again, you don't strip them, you know. These strip really easy. Okay. So I'm just going to remove the old one and put the new one where the other one is. Kind of like that. Okay. Try to screw it in a little bit so, like I said, if yours doesn't have any kind of markings, then don't worry about it. You should be able to install it like anyway, you know. Since this one's a lot cleaner than the other one, I'm just going to take my glove off too. Screws are kind of nasty though. So I'm not going to put them in all the way yet because I want to put the Loctite on them. Make sure it's on there. Okay, and it's not going anywhere. There's not a whole lot of schlop. That's good. Okay, so now we're going to go put our Loctite or thread locking compound onto the bolts. Just make sure you coat all the threads. Take one out at a time. Put it back. Should have got some tighter gloves. All right, and you're gonna wanna reinstall these before the thread locking compound sets. There's a little closer view right there. So I already put the Loctite on this one. And the last one. For whatever reason, that one is hard to get back on. Then you're going to want to tighten it in a star pattern. So go ahead and start bolting them in. Make sure this is flush. It is. Make sure the other side is clean. Yes, the other side is clean. If it's dirty behind there, you probably want to clean it, but it's all clean. So don't tighten it super tight yet. Tighten it in a star pattern, so I'm going to go like this. So I'm going to go snug them a little bit. And we're going to go bust down our torque wrench, and we're going to set. So according to, I got these numbers from the Sur Ron UK torque sheet, and they say to use 22 foot-pounds, okay, or whatever the Newton meter equivalent is. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to 22 foot-pounds. Okay, 22 foot-pounds. Go ahead and get your torquing device ready. Tip, put the 6mm socket on it. Okay, so the spec given by Sur Ron UK is 15 to 22 foot-pounds, or 20 to 30 Newton meters. If you work in Newton meters, then that's what it is, 20 to 30. or 15 to 22. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and torque it to 22. So I'm going to torque it in a star pattern. Actually, I'm going to probably do it to 10 first. I'm just going to eyeball it, the gauge. That's 10 right there. Okay. And I'm going to go in a star pattern to 10. I'm going to step it up, just so we're, tightening them evenly. Okay. Probably a good idea whenever you get the wheel off to check the torque on these too, because sometimes they get loose, Okay, and then now we're going to go torque it to 22. Okay. Seems like 22 is a whole lot, man. Maybe I would just do 20. There's a range. You don't have to quite do it at 22, but I'm going to do it at 22. We'll see what happens. Okay. All right, and then just for good measure, we'll go through it one more time. Okay, and I'm just going to go in a circle this time. It shouldn't move at all. Okay, yeah, just keep on checking. It helps to have it on a stand like this too, by the way. Okay, so that's all of them. So let's just double check that you got them all and they're all equal. So that's a good thing. Hopefully we can get them off when that time comes. But these sprockets should last a long time. But yeah, the only reason you would change the sprocket is the only reason you want to change the sprocket is if you were going to if you were going to change the sprocket size, basically. Okay, so there it is. So that's how to change the sprocket, change out or swap your sprocket out on a Sur Ron Light Bee. This is more specifically the Supermoto wheel, but it's the same process for the dirt wheel. Okay, it helps to have a stand like this, and it helps to have the tools that I used. It made it really easy. So, but definitely, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard is this? I would say like 2, man. Pretty much. If you got some kind of mechanical aptitude and the required tools, it's not hard. It's not hard at all. So like I said, it's pretty straightforward, but just in case you're wondering what entails swapping out the sprocket, that's how you do it. That's the first time I've done it on a Light Bee also, by the way. So all right, thanks for watching. I also like to mention that if you do change the sprocket size and you have like a stock Sur Ron Light Bee, your speedometer is going to be off. So right now the speedometer is like the right reading, but if you put a bigger one, it's going to spin faster. So it's going to say you're going faster than you're going, than you're really going. So it's going to mess up your speedometer. So that's the drawback to doing this. And there's no way that I know of on a stock Light Bee to recalibrate the speedometer, other than riding with like a GPS or something, Okay, thanks for watching. If you got any questions, answer in the comment section below. But yeah, this one was pretty straightforward. All right, here's my guy.